The day everything changed. The world had always been a place of wonders and mysteries, but nothing prepared humanity for the day when everything changed. It began with a wave of explosions so widespread and catastrophic that it left the planet reeling in shock. Precious stones, once considered mere ornaments, exploded like fragile wine glasses dropped on a hard floor. The chaos was unimaginable. Billions of injuries and countless accidental deaths followed, with the streets filled with panic and confusion. Governments scrambled to offer explanations, but nothing made sense. Was it the work of aliens, gods, or the end of times? In the aftermath, amidst the shattered remains of a mineral museum, an individual stumbled upon an intact gemstone. It was a large citrine, its golden hue standing out amidst the debris. The discovery seemed trivial at first, but when the man touched it, his life, and the world's, changed irrevocably. He gained superhuman speed, an ability that could not be concealed. The news spread like wildfire, leading to a frenzy of tests and investigations. No one could remove the kinetic citrine from his possession. It had bonded with him, and he was now a living testament to its power. This event triggered a global scramble for precious stones with unique effects. Blood rubies, ice diamonds, and oceanic sapphires became coveted treasures, each with extraordinary powers. People and governments alike sought these stones, driven by a mix of desperation and greed. The more powerful the stone, the greater its desirability. However, the stone's rarity and the destruction of most precious gems made them extraordinarily expensive and difficult to find. Governments and military organizations began to contract individuals enhanced by these stones, whether through wealth or coercion. The struggle for power became a battlefield, with countries redrawing their borders and fighting over gemstone mining fields. The world was consumed by conflict, driven by the need to secure these rare and powerful objects. In this new age of greed and violence, survival depended on one's access to and control over these stones. Amidst this turmoil, I lived a relatively normal life. I studied, worked, and kept my head down, hoping to avoid the chaos around me. My world was disrupted on what was both the best and worst day of my life. My grandmother, who had raised me, passed away. I felt a hollow emptiness, unable to cry. As I sorted through her belongings, the weight of her absence was overwhelming. In the garage, an old dusty place where the lawnmower had been stored for years, I discovered something that would change everything. Buried under layers of dust and a spare tire cover, I found it, a geode of amethyst. Unlike the typical amethyst gemstones, this one was enormous and seemed out of place. Its size and beauty were striking, and although I didn't think much of it at the time, it was clear that this was no ordinary stone. As I touched the amethyst, a blinding purple flash engulfed me. When the light faded, I realized that what I held was not just an amethyst, but a necromantic amethyst. This was not a small gem, but a massive 65-kilogram geode with untold powers. The stone's sudden transformation from an ordinary amethyst into something extraordinary hinted at a mysterious force at play. I had stumbled upon a power that could potentially alter the world's balance. The discovery was a turning point. It wasn't just about the power of the stone itself, but what it represented in a world now governed by the hunt for precious gemstones. With the necromantic amethyst in my possession, I found myself at the center of a new struggle, one that would force me to confront the chaos and conflicts that had become the norm. The awakening. The revelation of the necromantic amethyst was both a blessing and a curse. As I began to understand the magnitude of what I had discovered, I realized that the stone was far more than a mere relic of the past. It was a catalyst for change, a key to a new chapter in a world struggling to maintain its balance amidst chaos and greed. My first days with the amethyst were filled with a mix of awe and trepidation. The power it bestowed was unlike anything I had ever imagined. The stone's necromantic properties seemed to manifest in strange and unpredictable ways. Shadows moved on their own, whispers echoed in empty rooms, and I could sense a deep, ancient energy coursing through the very fabric of reality. I had become more than a mere observer of the world. I was now an active participant in its unfolding drama. News of my discovery quickly spread, though I did my best to keep it hidden. The world was on edge, and the existence of a necromantic amethyst could tilt the balance of power in ways no one could predict. Governments, military organizations, and private collectors all wanted to get their hands on such a powerful artifact. Their desperation was palpable, and I could see their greed reflected in every inquiry and attempt to locate me. I was no longer safe in my own home. It didn't take long for those in pursuit of the necromantic amethyst to find me. The first encounter was a shock. A group of men in black suits arrived unannounced, their eyes cold and calculating. They claimed to represent a private consortium interested in acquiring rare artifacts, but their true intentions were clear. They were after the amethyst, and they would stop at nothing to obtain it. Their intrusion forced me to take drastic measures. I hid the necromantic amethyst in a secret compartment within my home, hoping that its location would remain undiscovered. I then fled, knowing that staying in one place would only put me in greater danger. The world outside was no longer a place of safety. It had become a battleground where power and influence were measured by the rarity of precious stones. My journey took me to the heart of the chaos. Cities were in ruins, and entire regions were engulfed in conflict over gemstone mining fields. The landscape had transformed into a war-torn expanse where survival depended on one's ability to secure and control these precious resources. In the midst of this turmoil, I encountered others who, like me, were caught in the crossfire. Some were enhanced by stones, while others were ordinary people struggling to make sense of a world turned upside down. One of the people I met was Lena, a young woman whose family had been torn apart by the Gemstone Wars. She had lost everything and was now determined to find a way to help those in need. Our paths crossed under dire circumstances, and despite the chaos, we found a mutual understanding and a shared sense of purpose. Together, we navigated the treacherous landscape, trying to make a difference in a world where hope was scarce. As we traveled, I discovered that the necromantic amethyst held secrets beyond its immediate power. It seemed to connect with other stones in ways I couldn't fully comprehend. I started to piece together fragments of ancient knowledge and lore, realizing that the amethyst was part of a larger puzzle, a key to understanding the true nature of these enhanced gemstones and their origins. My quest became one of discovery and survival. The necromantic amethyst was not just a weapon or a tool, it was a bridge to a deeper understanding of the world's current state. The ancient texts I found hinted at a forgotten history, a time when gemstones were not mere possessions but integral to the balance of power and harmony in the world. Yet my journey was far from straightforward. The forces that sought the necromantic amethyst were relentless, and the closer I got to uncovering the truth, the more dangerous the path became. Lena and I faced numerous challenges, from skirmishes with rival factions to evading capture by those who would exploit the amethyst's power for their gain. Each step forward revealed new layers of complexity, drawing us deeper into a conflict that seemed both endless and inescapable. Despite the odds, I remained determined. The necromantic amethyst represented not just a source of power, but a symbol of hope. It was a chance to change the world, to restore balance, and to reclaim a sense of order amidst the chaos. As I continued my journey, I knew that the true test would be not only in surviving, but in using the amethyst's power to make a meaningful impact. Allies and adversaries. With the necromantic amethyst safely hidden, I began to forge alliances and seek out those who might aid us in our quest. The world was a complex tapestry of factions and interests, each with its own agenda. Trust was a rare commodity, and every interaction was fraught with the potential for betrayal. Yet, in the midst of this uncertainty, I found a few allies who shared a common goal: to bring about a change in the world's power dynamics and to protect those who were suffering. One of the most unexpected allies was Dr. Elias Carter, a former academic whose research had been focused on the origins of the gemstones. His expertise in ancient lore and his knowledge of gemstone properties made him an invaluable asset. Though initially skeptical of the necromantic amethyst's true nature, he soon recognized its significance and agreed to help unravel its mysteries. Dr. Carter's insights were crucial in understanding the broader implications of the necromantic amethyst. He introduced us to a hidden network of scholars and historians who had dedicated their lives to studying the gemstone's historical and mystical aspects. Their research suggested that the gemstones were not merely objects of power, but held the key to restoring balance and harmony to a world in turmoil. In contrast, our journey also brought us into contact with formidable adversaries. One such opponent was General Marcus Reed, a high-ranking military official known for his ruthless pursuit of gemstone-enhanced power. General Reed commanded a private army dedicated to securing and controlling the most powerful stones. His presence was a constant threat, and his methods were brutal, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. Our encounters with General Reed and his forces were fraught with danger. They sought to capture or eliminate anyone who stood in their way, and their relentless pursuit made every step of our journey perilous. We learned to adapt quickly, employing strategies to outmaneuver and evade capture while continuing to seek allies and gather information. During our travels, we also encountered other individuals who had been affected by the Gemstone Wars. Among them was Kira, a former gem miner who had lost her livelihood and her family to the conflict. Her knowledge of gemstone mining and her experiences in the field provided us with valuable insights into the industry's inner workings and the challenges faced by those on the ground. As our group grew, so did our understanding of the broader conflict. We discovered that the gemstone wars were not merely battles for resources, but were also driven by deeper motivations. The desire for power and control was rooted in fears and insecurities, with many factions believing that dominance over the gemstones would ensure their survival in a world increasingly defined by chaos and uncertainty. Despite the growing network of allies and the increasing complexity of our mission, I remained focused on the core objective: to use the necromantic amethyst to bring about a positive change. The knowledge we were uncovering pointed toward a potential solution, one that could reconcile the conflicts and restore some measure of order. Yet the path forward was fraught with challenges, and every discovery seemed to reveal new layers of conflict and intrigue. Our journey took us to hidden enclaves and ancient sites, where we uncovered forgotten relics and manuscripts that shed light on the gemstones' origins and their intended purpose. Each revelation brought us closer to understanding the amethyst's true nature and the role it played in the grand scheme of the world's balance. In the face of adversity, our resolve strengthened. We knew that the stakes were high and that the path ahead was uncertain, but with each challenge we overcame and each ally we gained, we moved closer to the ultimate goal: to use the necromantic amethyst to effect meaningful change and to restore a sense of balance to a world teetering on the edge of chaos. The hidden secrets. Our quest led us to ancient ruins and forgotten places, each site offering fragments of the truth about the gemstones and their history. The necromantic amethyst was central to our search, and its powers seemed to resonate with the remnants of ancient magic and knowledge we encountered. One of our key discoveries was an ancient manuscript detailing the origins of the gemstones. The text revealed that the stones were once part of a grand system designed to maintain balance and harmony in the world. They were not just sources of power, but also instruments of balance, carefully crafted to regulate the flow of energy and ensure stability. The manuscript described how the gemstones were created by a lost civilization with advanced knowledge of magic and science. This civilization had harnessed the power of the stones to shape their world, using them to control natural forces and maintain peace. However, their downfall came when the stones were stolen or lost, leading to the current state of conflict and imbalance. As we delved deeper into the manuscript, we uncovered references to a nexus stone, a legendary artifact believed to have the power to restore the world's balance. The necromantic amethyst was mentioned in the text as a key component of the nexus stone, suggesting that it played a crucial role in the process of reassembling or activating the artifact. The revelation was both exciting and daunting. If the necromantic amethyst was indeed part of the nexus stone, its power could be used to bring about significant change. However, the process of reassembling the artifact was shrouded in mystery, and we needed to find additional components and decipher ancient instructions to unlock its full potential. Our search for the Nexus Stone led us to a series of hidden locations and forgotten temples. Each site was protected by ancient wards and traps, designed to prevent unauthorized access. We had to navigate these dangers and solve intricate puzzles to gain access to the hidden knowledge and artifacts. During this time, we also encountered other seekers of the Nexus Stone. Some were motivated by noble intentions, while others sought to exploit its power for personal gain. The competition was fierce, and our progress was often hindered by those who would stop at nothing to seize the artifact for themselves. Despite the challenges, our determination never wavered. We continued to piece together the clues and gather the necessary components for the Nexus Stone. Along the way, we forged new alliances with individuals who shared our vision of restoring balance and healing the world. As we approached the final stages of our quest, we realized that the true challenge lay not just in finding the Nexus Stone, but in understanding how to use its power responsibly. The stakes were high, and the potential consequences of our actions were profound. We needed to ensure that the artifact's power would be used to benefit all of humanity, rather than falling into the hands of those who would exploit it. With the knowledge and artifacts we had collected, we prepared for the final steps of our journey. The path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but we were ready to face whatever challenges lay in wait. The future of the world depended on our success, and we were determined to see our mission through to the end. The Great Convergence. As we neared the culmination of our quest, the convergence of various forces and factions became increasingly evident. The search for the Nexus Stone had attracted attention from all corners of the world, and the stakes were higher than ever. The once isolated battles over gemstones had grown into a global struggle, with every major power vying for control of the artifact. The Great Convergence was not just a physical gathering of forces, but also a clash of ideologies and ambitions. Each faction had its vision of what the Nexus Stone could achieve, and their conflicting goals led to a series of intense confrontations. The world was on the brink of a massive upheaval, and the outcome hinged on the decisions made in the coming days. Our final destination was a hidden chamber, believed to be the location where the Nexus Stone could be reassembled and activated. The chamber was located deep within a secluded mountain range, shielded by powerful enchantments and guarded by ancient sentinels. Reaching it required a combination of skill, knowledge, and sheer determination. The journey to the chamber was fraught with obstacles. Rival factions, each with their own agendas, sought to claim the artifact for themselves. We faced numerous skirmishes and battles, each one testing our resolve and our ability to work together. The world's chaos had reached a fever pitch, with entire cities embroiled in conflict as factions fought for dominance. Inside the chamber, we encountered the final challenges: intricate puzzles and powerful guardians tasked with protecting the Nexus Stone. Each trial required a deep understanding of the ancient knowledge we had gathered and the ability to apply it in innovative ways. The necromantic amethyst proved to be a crucial asset, guiding us through the chamber's trials and revealing hidden pathways. As we progressed, we discovered the true nature of the Nexus Stone. It was not a single artifact, but a collection of interconnected components, each representing different aspects of the world's balance. The necromantic amethyst was a central piece, but it needed to be combined with other stones and artifacts to activate its full potential. The Great Convergence reached its climax as we faced the final challenge: a powerful entity that had been guarding the Nexus Stone for centuries. This guardian was a formidable foe, possessing abilities that matched or even surpassed those of the enhanced individuals we had encountered. The battle was intense and required every ounce of our strength and ingenuity. Despite the formidable opponent, our combined efforts and the power of the necromantic amethyst allowed us to overcome the guardian. With the final components in place, we activated the Nexus Stone, triggering a wave of energy that resonated throughout the world. The balance of power began to shift, and the conflicts that had ravaged the planet started to subside. The Great Convergence marked the beginning of a new era. The Nexus Stone's activation brought a sense of hope and renewal to a world that had been battered by conflict and greed. The power of the gemstones was now harnessed in a way that promoted balance and harmony, rather than division and strife. As we emerged from the chamber, we saw the first signs of change. Cities began to rebuild, and the conflicts that had once seemed insurmountable started to find resolution. The world was far from perfect, but the steps taken towards restoring balance were a testament to the power of determination and cooperation. Our journey had come to an end, but the impact of our actions would be felt for generations to come. The necromantic amethyst and the Nexus Stone had played a crucial role in shaping the future, and their legacy would continue to inspire those who sought to make a difference. A new beginning. The activation of the Nexus Stone had profound implications for the world. The power of the gemstones was now directed towards healing and restoration, and the conflicts that had once seemed insurmountable began to wane. As the world started to rebuild, the sense of hope and renewal was palpable. In the aftermath, Lena, Dr. Carter, and I took on new roles as advocates for peace and cooperation. We worked to promote understanding and collaboration among the various factions, encouraging them to use their resources and influence for the greater good. Our efforts were met with both enthusiasm and resistance, but we remained committed to our mission of fostering positive change. One of our key initiatives was to establish a global council dedicated to overseeing the responsible use of gemstone power. The council was composed of representatives from different regions and factions, each bringing their unique perspectives and expertise. The goal was to ensure that the power of the gemstones was used in a way that benefited all of humanity, rather than being exploited for individual gain. The Council's work was challenging but essential. We faced numerous obstacles, from entrenched interests to lingering animosities. Yet the progress we made was a testament to the power of diplomacy and collaboration. Slowly but surely, the world began to embrace a new era of cooperation and mutual respect. Our efforts also extended to education and awareness. We worked to educate people about the true nature of the gemstones and their potential to bring about positive change. By sharing knowledge and fostering understanding, we aim to empower individuals to take an active role in shaping the future. As the years went by, the impact of our work became increasingly evident. The world was no longer defined by conflict and strife, but by a shared commitment to building a better future. The lessons learned from the Gemstone Wars and the activation of the Nexus Stone became a foundation for a new era of harmony and collaboration. Lena and I continued to work together, using our experiences and insights to guide our efforts. We remained dedicated to promoting peace and ensuring that the power of the gemstones was used responsibly. Our journey had come full circle, and we were proud of the progress we had made. The legacy of the necromantic amethyst and the Nexus Stone lived on, inspiring future generations to seek balance and harmony in their own lives. The story of our journey became a symbol of hope and resilience, a reminder that even in the face of great challenges, positive change is possible. As we look towards the future, we knew that there would always be new challenges to face and new opportunities to explore. But with the lessons learned and the progress achieved, we were confident that the world was on a path to a brighter and more harmonious future. The echoes of the past. Years after the activation of the Nexus Stone, the world had transformed into a place of cooperation and balance. The power of the gemstones was now harnessed for the greater good, and the conflicts that had once defined the era had given way to a new age of peace. However, the echoes of the past continued to resonate, and the legacy of the Gemstone Wars remained a poignant reminder of the challenges faced and overcome. As we entered this new era, Lena and I continued our work to ensure that the lessons of the past were not forgotten. We focused on preserving the history of the Gemstone Wars and the role played by the necromantic amethyst and the Nexus Stone. Our goal was to ensure that future generations would understand the significance of these events and the importance of maintaining the balance we had worked so hard to achieve. To this end, we established a historical archive dedicated to documenting the events of the Gemstone Wars and the subsequent restoration of balance. The archive included records of key events, personal stories from those affected, and artifacts from the era. It served as a valuable resource for researchers, educators, and anyone interested in understanding the history and impact of the gemstone conflicts. One of the most significant projects was the creation of a comprehensive history book that detailed the journey from the initial discovery of the necromantic amethyst to the establishment of the Global Council. The book highlighted the contributions of various individuals and factions, celebrating their efforts and sacrifices. It also provided insights into the broader implications of the Gemstone Wars and the lessons learned from the experience. As we worked on these projects, we continued to encounter individuals and groups who sought to exploit the remnants of the Gemstone conflicts for their own gain. Despite the progress made, there were still those who wished to return to the days of chaos and greed. We remained vigilant, working to counteract these efforts and to promote the values of cooperation and harmony. Our efforts to preserve the past also included